Hello everyone, this is Leo, and I'm gonna talk about the Nintendo Switch 2. What it's been 2 weeks or something? I don't have one. Of course I don't. I don't need one. Uh, but I was even interested in one after the first reveal that Nintendo did. I'm not sure now how long it took them since the actual reveal till the thing was released, but it feels to me like it was a very short amount of time. And they revealed, they showed like camera, chat, better Joy-Cons, bigger screen, and I was like, yeah, it looks good. There's a lot of stuff like it. This is, as people said, like Nintendo Switch 1.5. This is what the Nintendo Switch should have been since the beginning. They could probably have released something very similar to this, probably a little bit less powerful they would need to do because technology evolves, obviously, and the Switch is very old. I mean, it didn't have to be a very old chip inside of the Nintendo Switch. They could have released it with a new chip back then, right? Like back then, it could have been a chip that was newer, better, more efficient, better technology, like what Sony and Microsoft do, that they talk to their partners and they develop something custom that fits their needs and is a little bit outdated, but not too much. Uh, it's because of the price point, right? You can't put like uh, top of the line technology, the latest and the thing into a console because it becomes too expensive. But you can make it pretty decent. But Nintendo doesn't like making consoles pretty decent as far as the specs go. So it lies down all to the design and everything. So, okay, they made the Switch 2. I was interested, and then comes the talks about the price. The price was very high. And then the price for the games is even higher, right? And then all this bullshit with the cards that don't come with the games, and you need to buy a specific super expensive SD card to play. And I was like, oh my God, no. I lost interest. After the details started coming out, I immediately lost interest. But I'll first talk about the Switch itself, and then afterwards, I'm gonna talk about like me personally, right? Because I still think like this is not bad. I mean, this is okay, right? I mean, it's expensive, the games are expensive, but if you want to play Breath of the Wild, I mean, you can play it now at 60 frames per second, right? And I'm pretty sure it makes a big difference. And all these other games, you can play at better frame rates, at playable frame rates, and everything like that. So yeah, that's good. That's totally worth investing into. And if you like Nintendo, you want to play their games, you're gonna buy the console, right? And if that's how you do it, I don't think that the Switch is egregious, as in like, oh, you can't buy this because this is trash, this is horrible. We all know what the Nintendo Switch is at this point. And it is expensive as hell, right? I mean, 450. How much is it in the US? I think in Europe it's $450 for the one. It's just the console and then 500 and 510, something like that for the one with the Mario Kart. Again, if you really love Mario Kart, you want to play Mario Kart, you want to have that experience of unpacking, having something new, bigger. I will say this right now, better screen, right? Um, and I'll go back to that in a second, but better screen, better controls, right? Better performance. You have the new game. Everybody's playing the Mario Kart game online, so you go there, you play it online. If you want to go into all that kind of stuff, I mean, it's great. I don't remember battery life exactly, but it's like I think it's similar to the Nintendo Switch, right? So the console itself seems fine. Like if that's what you're into and if you want to do that, I mean, I'm so tired of what I used to do. It's like, oh, we let's not buy this because let's put pressure on Nintendo so that they lower the price because they're getting too much of, it's too much profit for them. They're nickel and diming us for this thing, obviously. And I'm like, I don't care anymore. I don't know. To each their own. I don't play this politics anymore, anywhere. I just do what's best for me. And if things go to shit, whatever, I did what's best for me. And because I've lived almost half of my life, what's probably going to be half of my life, being all principled and, trying to do the right thing. And nothing changes, man. It's like you can do the right thing. You can separate your trash and put it in, correctly and whatever. People are either gonna do that or not gonna do that. I do it, but the world is not clean or whatever, right? Like I mean, I have to live with my conscience, so I try to, to do these kinds of things properly. But, if it's a hassle for myself or if it's too extreme, I just don't go there anymore. And I mean, there are things that are important like separating our trash and, global warming and whatever. And then video games is like, oh no, they're gonna ruin video games. It's like, yeah, so what? I'm not saying I don't care about video games. Obviously, I'm making the video. I do care, but I don't care enough to play like politics with it. It's like either it's worth 450 for me or 500 euros for me, or it's not. And if it's not, then I won't buy it, and then that's it. But if Nintendo is gonna lower the prices or not, or right, that's not why I do it. I just do what is best for myself, and that's also a way of, organically making the market work. And let's talk about the screen. The screen is a very interesting thing. And I'm glad again I'm not trying to educate people too much because it's crazy to see what happens, right? I mean, the thing gets released, the screen's better now. All right, and then someone tests the screen or someone sees the screen and someone says, well, the screen is response time is slow, right? And so it's trashy. Yeah, okay. And then someone comes and tests it, and then comparing it to other things, it's garbage. Like it's shit. It's awful. And then, and then all this discussion starts, and I literally saw people saying like, on one side, people saying if you think the Nintendo Switch 2 screen is bad, you're delusional. And on the other side, people saying, well, if you think it's good, you're delusional. I literally saw that discussion happening like live on Discord. And so I'm like, well, I mean, it's it's the data is the data, right? And then what that means to different people are different things. And the data is let's say and and this is the problem with data, right? You need to understand the data. You need to be able to read the data. Otherwise, the data is absolutely useless. So I'll start with the most important data there is. Always with anything that is a hobby or that is a pastime or that is something that you do for your enjoyment. That is the benchmark. Do you enjoy it? If yes, then do it. Like, is it bad for you? Like, I'm not saying, oh, do you enjoy injecting heroin? Oh, then just do it. Oh, do you enjoy smoking crack? Then just do it. Well, I mean, maybe if that's the case, then think about it. Like, is it really worth it? But we're talking about a screen on a handheld, right? Your eyeballs are not gonna pop out of your head. You're not gonna go blind. It's just not. I mean, maybe it's gonna give you a headache. And if that's the case, then you probably don't want to use it. Because I mean, I get, I actually get like my eyes sore from screens that have this behavior of having too slow response time. I hate it. I have monitors that do that. I hate it. I don't use them. That's one of the reasons why I like the Lenovo Legion Go, like a very small screen. If you're talking about a desktop screen, right? Not a handheld screen, a desktop screen, and that's how I use the Lenovo Legion Go. It's a very small screen and has decent response times. And so put them together, a small screen. Listen to this. This is important. A small screen helps it, right? The bigger the screen, the more, at least to me, I have seen that in multiple cases. The biggest, the bigger the screen is, the more distracting this blur from the low response times gets. In smaller screens, it's fine. But just look at like how your body responds to it, right? A bunch of people are fine with it. It's fine, man. Like I mean, and we're gonna talk about it, about how many different things, how these things work, right? But okay, so the number two data is the numbers that people can collect by testing, okay? And this is the one that you need to learn how to read because people are talking about this and they have no clue. Like I have seen these conversations again on Discord, and it's like people saying, well, one guy measured it at 30, the other one measured it at 16, and so one guy thinks it's awful, the other guy thinks it's bad, and it's like, no, that's not how it works. Like both of them measured it, and you can't compare the measurement. So it's not like one thinks it's awful and the other one thinks it's just bad. It's like one of them measures it, and with his methodology, he gets 30 milliseconds response time. The other guy gets 16. So the guy who gets 30, when he measures a monitor, he's gonna get 5, and the other one who got 15 is gonna get 3 or something like that. You get it? So if you're using the same method to measure all the things that you measure, the proportion is going to be the same. So the end result is going to be the same. The guy who measured it at 16 milliseconds and the guy who measures it at 30, they will come to the same conclusion because they're comparing their own data to their own data. You can't get different people. People do that with benchmarks. Oh, Hardware Unboxed made this benchmark and they got this game running at 60 in these graphics cards. And Gamers Nexus did the same measurement with the same graphics card and they got a different frame rate. And it's like, yeah, obviously they use a different benchmark system. They use different graphic settings. They have different room temperature. Even that could change the results a little bit depending on what's happening. You go home, you build a PC with the what you think are the same components, the same graphics card, and then run the same game and you get different results. Yeah, you can get different results. That's why you need to learn how to read the data, otherwise you won't understand what's happening. So, what happens with the Nintendo Switch 2 screen? it's it has slow response time, so it's gonna get blurry. Like when it shows one image, right? And then the next frame it was gonna show something different or not. It might be showing the same image in the next uh, frame, right? Because it's repeating. Because if you're running a game, let's say at 30 frames per second, and the monitor does or the screen does 120, you might be like showing 4 times the same, and then you change. But it depends on a lot of things. So I'm just saying this like that, but different things. So it shows and then it changes. So once it changes, once you send a new signal to the screen, it takes 30 milliseconds depending on how you measure it, right? 30 milliseconds for the image to change from the old one to the new one completely. And the interesting thing about that, it depends on the intensity, the color depends on what is being shown. That number is going to differ. If you're showing a light gray and you go to a darker gray, maybe, or you're showing just a red, and then that red intensifies a little bit, and that's all that's happening. Maybe that's super fast. Maybe that's going to be in 5 milliseconds, it's going to be there, and no problem, right? But when you're measuring certain changes, right, larger changes or whatever, then maybe it's slower. It depends on a lot of things. And so what would happen is, because it takes 30 milliseconds for that change to happen completely, maybe you have an image and then you're running your game at 60 frames per second again. That's 16 milliseconds per frame. So the image changes, but when the first frame ended, you're already giving the monitor a new image to write, but it didn't even finish the transitions of the one before, right? That's what generates the blur. And so at 120 frames per second, like, the trail is gonna be more than 4 entire frames of laggy image showing on screen. That's why people are saying, like, this monitor, they are saying this screen, sorry, this LCD screen, they say Nintendo says is capable of 120 hertz, or you're right, 120 frames per second. Well, people are saying not really, and I agree, not really. I mean, the screen is more adapted and more suited for 30 frames per second than it is to 60, and 120 is actually just useless. And especially in the context of a handheld where I rarely, if ever, play my Lenovo Legion Go in handheld mode at 120, because you're just going to be draining your battery like crazy for very little gains, because even on the 8.8 screen of the Lenovo Legion Go that is relatively fast, it's not a problem, and it can do 144 hertz, but I'm going to be draining the battery, and the difference is not that big on a screen of that size. And mostly when I'm playing on the Lenovo Legion Go, mostly, especially if I'm playing on its own screen and not on a separate screen, then I'm playing with the controller. And that is also something that a lot of people seem to miss, that if you're playing with mouse and keyboard, you're going to be much more sensitive to frame rates, both in the sense of the input delay, input lag, but also in the sense of the fluidity of the motion on screen. And that's why, again, these comparisons between gaming monitors that are made for PCs and the Nintendo Switch screen, of course, the monitors are going to be much faster because it's a different need, right? Most people who are playing on consoles, they are playing on televisions, and if you get a little bit older televisions, or just televisions that are not the best at gaming, you're gonna see pretty bad response times too, I'm pretty sure. Because I mean, I've seen my TVs that are not even that bad, and they're pretty blurry in motion. Maybe I'm wrong because I only have a very small amount of televisions that, but again, televisions are probably made to run content at what? 30 frames per second, 24 frames per second, right? The cinematic thing. Are these shows nowadays running at 60? Is Netflix 60? I don't know. I doubt it. Again, it's a waste of time because the human eye is fine with looking at 24 as long as there's motion blur. And television can have motion blur, right? You can capture that. And so it's going to be fine. Motion blur is what's this screen from the Nintendo Switch is going to be adding to the image. So if you're playing content at 30 frames per second, you get this new console, this new Nintendo Switch, and you're playing Breath of the Wild and you don't update it and you're just playing it. Sure, it's blurry, but I mean, it's probably gonna be like a good experience with the console in handheld mode playing at 30. I think it probably is. Now let's do comparisons. The Nintendo Switch OLED is like 1 millisecond for transitions. and the Nintendo Switch 2 is 30. So it's like, yeah, if you have a Nintendo Switch OLED and you like crisp image and you play games that actually utilize the 60 frames per second feature and run them well at that and you get used to that, you go to Nintendo Switch 2, it's gonna be in that specific sense a gigantic downgrade to the point where some people might say, "Wow, this is garbage. This screen is crap." But if you're going from the OLED and you go to the new one and you're playing Zelda Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom or whatever else, right? Then maybe you're gonna be fine. Like, oh, the screen is bigger. It's not as bright or not as the contrasts and whatever, not as good, but it's still pretty good. It's bigger. I like bigger screens, right? And you maybe will not perceive the motion blur, whatever, as much because of the type of content. Again, it all depends on the type of content and all of the kind of things. How detailed is the game? If it's a game that's very detailed, you have a very detailed background that is scrolling, or you're panning the camera around, then maybe it's gonna affect the your experience a lot because all those details are gonna be a mush mixed together because the screen is not fast enough to update that. But if it's much simpler graphics, like the graphics that Nintendo themselves tend to do with the games, well, maybe the transitions between colors are going to get blurry. But if you have lots of surfaces that are just one color, that's not going to get blurred out, right? So that's going to respond much better to that kind of problem. So again, it's a complex discussion where a lot of people I see just take a side and just say that either it's bad and they don't understand. They're saying it's bad for themselves or they're saying it's bad for a number of what someone tested, right? But I mean, what are we actually really talking about? It's just like this entire lag discussion that a lot of people have and don't have. It's like, yeah, I mean, some people play games with variable lag that I mean, by emulation, variable lag between 2 and 5 extra frames of lag over what the original content was at 60 frames per second, right? So you're playing Super Mario Brothers instead of having constant 2 frames of lag, you have between 4 and 7. And some people play like that and they're fine. And if I'm playing like that, I'm probably going to think it's garbage, especially if I'm used to playing something that keeps me at 3 frames per second, 3 frames of lag, of actual total lag, not emulation lag, like probably what my Mr. FPGA setup does, like a frame of lag maybe total with the controller and the display and everything. So yeah, I'm gonna be annoyed by more than that because I'm gonna perceive it, especially if it's variable, right? And it's gonna be annoying. Like I'm gonna perceive, I'm gonna feel sometimes that I pressed the button and it kind of failed me, right? And so that's the kind of thing you have to take into consideration. Like, what's your experience, what you've been doing, how it is for you, and even the raw numbers, they don't mean anything until you have a goal or a purpose or a specific thing that you're doing. Because again, if you're playing Final Fantasy on the NES, then yeah, who cares if there is 3 extra frames of lag? Like, oh, it's gonna bother you. So it is bothersome in the menus. I find it irritating, but it's you know, it's irritating to a point. You're not gonna lose a fight because of it. It doesn't affect the experience. So you just have to. But as a platform, right? As a platform, as a global thing, do I personally want to invest in a handheld that has a blurry screen? No, I don't. I don't, right? And I play scrolling shooters and I play that kind of game, scrolling platformers where this kind of stuff might bother me. More than that, the Nintendo Switch 2 still has the same 1 extra frame of lag that the Nintendo Switch had. If you have a game released on a Nintendo Switch, it always has one extra frame of lag over all the other uh, platforms, and I don't like that. I don't like that as an idea. I don't think I'm a good gamer enough where it actually matters. But the Nintendo consoles, they're not cheaper than the other ones. So why does it have these kinds of, drawbacks? I mean, it's cheaper than a Lenovo Legion Go, but not even by much. Right now, the Lenovo Legion Go in some places of Europe is going for 600 euros. And it comes with 512 gigs of internal storage, so you don't have to buy an expensive thing. And the controls on the console, at least I think, are good. So you don't have to buy new Joy-Cons to make it, and the screen is bigger, and it works out of the box. And you don't, I mean, it doesn't come with a docking station. That's something you need to buy. So yeah, I mean, you have to be fair. So I did have to invest in a docking station. It's not expensive because it's not Nintendo first party. And, you know, so I'm gonna go into my side of this because again, I think the console is reasonable, but as the owner of a Lenovo Legion Go, I kind of feel like Lenovo released a better version of the Switch 2 than Nintendo did before Nintendo even came out with theirs, right? Did Lenovo somehow see that Nintendo was gonna put mice in the Joy-Cons? I think that's a pretty cool feature, right? I think that's fine. I think that can work. Did they know that? Because they put a mouse on theirs. So how does that work? But the Nintendo Switch does not have a trackpad. I think a trackpad is a good thing. I use this the Lenovo Legion Go trackpad sometimes. It can be useful. I think having both is a good thing. Now, is Nintendo gonna super innovate with those? I doubt too many games are gonna really use it, because we already have that. So it's Nintendo coming and saying, well, if you want to do the PC thing where you have a mouse and a controller, you can do it now on the Switch too, right? And it's gonna work for you out of the box. But I mean, a mouse is better, a PC is better. So if people who want to do that, who really want to do that, they're gonna keep doing that on the PC. You're not gonna buy a Nintendo Switch 2 to play CS:GO for Christ's sake, are you? Like really? That's the kind of thing that I find very questionable that I see some people from Nintendo do. It's like I remember when the Dark Souls released for the Nintendo Switch, people like, "Oh, I can finally play Dark Souls." And I was like, "What? Like you wanted to play this game, but you refuse to buy hardware that's not from Nintendo, and you wait a decade for the thing to come out on Nintendo, even though it plays much better on other systems." Okay, fine, whatever. It's like it's your problem. I don't care. I don't really care what people do or don't do. I just don't understand the mindset because I know some people they are Nintendo gamers and that's what they're gonna do. Again, for those people, if that's what you're gonna do anyway, yeah, get the Switch too. I mean, I think it's overall better except for the blurry screen. Oh yeah, and let's just talk like monitors unboxed measured the screen on the Nintendo Switch 2 at 30 milliseconds, and I think the Nintendo Switch original was like 20. I mean, it's a difference. It probably is noticeable, but I don't think it doesn't sound to me like a huge difference. And let's not forget, they measured a PlayStation Portable at 60 milliseconds of response time, right? Twice as bad as the Nintendo Switch 2. Okay, so it's not like it's a new thing. People who have been playing on handhelds for a long time, they probably know that handheld screens mostly suck. The Vita was the best screen ever before the Nintendo Switch came out, and it was pretty good, but it was still small and low resolution. And even though it had great colors, it had these green flecks, like green uh, screen discoloring of the screen in certain parts when it was showing black or very dark colors. It was very distracting and strange thing. And then came the LCD, which is a pretty good screen. It's pretty good. Is it much better than the Nintendo Switch? I don't think so. I don't remember anyone saying, "Oh, this Nintendo Switch has a nice screen, but my PlayStation Vita was even better." I doubt the LCD in the Nintendo's on the Sony PS Vita had much better response times or anything, the LCD one. And nobody was complaining about that back then. But again, it was a much smaller screen. In a much smaller screen and lower resolutions, you don't have as much detail. So you won't see the blur as much of a problem because again, the blur makes the details go away, but you don't have them. You don't have the hardware power to see that, those to render those details. You don't have the resolution on the screen to have those details being displayed. So the the quality, the speed of response times is low, but it's not a problem. Now, Nintendo's misstep is that they upped the size, they upped the resolution, and then they let the response times degrade. And that made it very obvious. So again, to me, it feels like I already have a Nintendo Switch 2, a better one. Bigger screen, better controls, more processing power, more internal storage, easier to have more storage because I can use any SD card that I want. And I can change the internal SSD. It's not easy, but it's not super hard. Um, and I have an entire library of games that I want to play. And again, if I didn't have a Lenovo Legion Go, maybe I would be at risk of maybe really wanting to buy and being able to justify to myself that I want a Nintendo Switch. But as things are, luckily, I can't justify. Like I have games enough to play, which is another thing that really, me personally, the reason why I don't buy a Nintendo Switch, or one of the reasons why, more important than the fact that the screen is this or the games are expensive. It's just that, again, I have gaming stuff that I have collected over a decade, more than a decade, like, you know, 12 years, 13, yeah, 12 years probably since I started buying this stuff after I moved to Europe. And I haven't played most of it. And a lot of it, like I was looking at my Steam library, and it's so disgraceful. Like just the amount of games that I played, like a reasonable amount of them, that I played at least 90% of, sorry, 50% of the content that is like the main content of the game, right? How much of my library I played at least 50% of the content of that game? I'm pretty sure in saying less than 10% of the games that I own on Steam. And even if I take out a bunch of games that I just got on, as a freebie or in a humble bundle, and that's not the game that I was looking for in that bundle, or just stuff that I bought for like 30 cents or €1 just because, and I don't really care. Even if I take that away, right? Even the games that I actually want to play, even on those, I am sure I played less than 50% of them uh, for less than 50% of the content that the game has available. And I'm not talking about 100%ing it or anything. I'm just talking about the main, whatever content that the game is, right? So, and it's not like I don't use my Steam library. It's just that I have these games and then I play the same games. How many people do that? Do you guys do that? Like I have 600 games, let's say. Let me see how many games do I have in my Steam library. I'm opening my uh, I'm opening my Steam library on the Lenovo Legion Go to take a look. I'm recording this using my laptop, so I'm gonna take a look. But again, it's probably around 600 games on Steam, and and I play 12 of those games. Let's see, how many games are these? 748 games, I think, plus 8 that are favorited. And if I just start looking at what I actually played a lot of, played Dark Souls, Fallout 4. Can you go to the library and well, I don't know how to right now uh view my library, as in how much have I played the games, right? Order here, yes, by hours played. Okay, Dark Souls Prepare to Die Edition, 270 hours. Dark Souls 3, 80 hours. Street Fighter 5, 50 hours. Dark Souls 2, 55. Torchlight, the original Torchlight, 47 hours. Borderlands, 42. Ark Survival Evolved, 24. Star Wars Jedi Outcast, Jedi Knight 2, 15 hours. Civilization 4, 14 hours. Monkey Island, Machinarium, Dark Forces, Code Vein. And I didn't skip games. Okay, I'm already at 5 hours. Okay, Flat Out 2, 5 hours. Puzzle Bots, 5 hours. Battleborn, 5 hours. Moody, 4 hours. Skullgirls, 3.7, and it goes down from there. One of the games I played the most is a game that was announced for Intellivision Amico. I think they now released that thing. Rigid Force Alpha, 3.6 hours. Now, this is not all I play on the PC. A lot of these games and other games I played, for example, Far Cry Blood Dragon, 2.2 hours. Well, it's a game I played on the Xbox 360. There are games that I repurchased here, but I have them on other platforms and I play them on other platforms. I'm pretty sure Skullgirls is one of those. What else? Um, I mean, Far Cry Blood Dragon, I did play on the 360, and Dark Souls too, but I also played a lot of it on Steam. Uh, Whatever, doesn't matter. You know, and quickly, I'm in the very beginning of the list, and I'm already at going at 1 hour played for these games. Oniken, for example, I played it for 1 hour. Oh, but I have this game. DRM free as an installable file, but the Steam version is updated, so I downloaded it. I played Oniken for more. I played Oniken for a few hours. It's not a super long game, right? But again, a power up. It's a no. This is another one. But again, a lot of these games I did play on the 360 or on the PlayStation 4, so that changes what does these numbers mean, because this is just me getting games really cheap that I like to have them available on a different platform. Dirt 3 shows here as 40 minutes played. I played this game a lot more on the Xbox 360. Oh, so why do I buy this here? Well, because I don't have a 360 installed. I really like the game. And was it Dirt 3? Maybe it was not 3. It was Dirt 2 that I played on the 360, sorry. So again, but still, so many games played so little, right? And again, a lot of these games that I never played or played very, very little of, I like them and I want to play them more. Games like Pac-Man Championship Edition 2, EX Zodiac. They're showing here. Now I'm reading games that I played 10 minutes or less. Okay, Atari Vault, uh, Doom, that's Doom, the one that they made many years ago, but it's the new one after Doom 3 or 4, whatever it was, right? Pinball FX and uh, System Shock 2. mean, as far as I know, it's a good game. I should try it. I never did. Mm, Bunch of stuff. Yeah, now I'm at the things that I never played on Steam. Abyss Odyssey, although I played this on um, 360. Uh, so many of these games I don't really necessarily care about. I don't really necessarily want to play. It's crazy. Assault Android Cactus, I think I probably want to play. Arkham Horror, Mothers and Brands. Uh, the Binding of Isaac, I didn't like it. I didn't play it here. I played it somewhere else. BioShock also, I started playing it. I didn't like it and I stopped. Uh, Blasphemous, the 2D platformer thing, right? Uh, just this, I mean, it just goes with so many different games that I never played. So I just gonna play them. When I'm done playing these games, then I can think about buying a new game. Crimson Clover World Explosion. That's probably a really good game. It's gonna take a few hours to get decent at the easiest level, you know. Uh, Dead Space 2, I have it here. Again, the Dirt series, Dirt Rally, Dirt 3. Devil May Cry. Dragon Age Origins. That's a game I can play, like I can play for months because I don't play too long each session. One hour a day. It's gonna take me months to go through the game, and if I like it, play twice or something like that. It's gonna take huge amounts of time for me to play through. Far Cry New Dawn. I have it already. Never started the game. It's installed. Fearmonium. Again, it's just too many games. I'm at F, and right. So no, I don't need a new gaming console. Do I want one? Well, just as you know, I don't really want one in the sense that I have the need for it at all. It's just that we see people having something or it's something shiny, there is marketing out there, and we get interested, right? But with the amount of games that are actual good games that I actually want to try, that I already have, I shouldn't be looking at anything else, right? I'm just so every time I think about buying a new laptop because my laptop is a weak one, or because my Lenovo Legion Go is too weak to play certain things. It's like, oh, I wanted to buy, it was on sale, that Harry Potter game. And I was like, oh, but that's gonna play like crap on my Lenovo Legion Go. So I have to buy something better to play because I don't want to play it at lowest settings and chugging with the frame rates. And I was like, well, but I mean, I never played Dragon Age Origins, so that plays fine on the Lenovo Legion Go. So I don't buy anything. I don't buy the game either. It was on sale for 14 bucks. I didn't buy it, or 15, but doesn't matter. I didn't buy it because I said no. I'll finish the other RPGs that I'm playing that I haven't played yet first, and after I'm done with those, God knows when that's gonna be in 2 years from now, in 10 years from now, in 20 years from now. Then I'll take a look at this thinking, fucking Harry Potter game. Maybe by then there's gonna be something else, or I'm gonna have something else. Who knows, right? But right now, no, just nothing. And again, it's all about what you want to do. Someone was talking, asking me in the comments. It's like, oh well, you're a PC gamer and your main PC, your main gaming PC is a handheld. Like that's odd. It's like, yeah, it's odd. But the games that I have that I want to play that I never got around to playing, and I already own most of them, um, they will play fine on the Lenovo Legion Go. You know a game I never like I played it some and I hated it? It was Skyrim. You know, before buying Harry Potter, I can play Skyrim, right? And it runs fine on the Lenovo Legion Go because the game it depends on the version that you get, right? But even the remastered version or however it's called, Anniversary Edition, it still runs fine on the Lenovo Legion Go. The game is ultra old, right? It was awful on the Xbox 360, but it plays just fine on the PlayStation 4. If it plays fine on the PlayStation 4, it's gonna play fine on the Lenovo Legion Go, especially if you're not trying to get the best battery life out of it. And so, yeah. And how long, how much time can I spend playing Skyrim? That's exactly the reason why I did not want to play it. Because if I start playing Skyrim, I can play it for 10 years easily. Like there is so much nothing to do in that game. You can waste so much of your fucking time in that game that, yeah, no. And so, but again, I mean, you know, I have it. It's free. It plays fine on the hardware that I have, so I just don't want to spend the money if I don't have to. And it's not like that I don't have the money. I just don't want to spend money getting more crap that I don't need, piling up more crap when I already got all the crap. I already have. Like I'm looking at all this crap around here, and it's not all my crap, but it's enough. And so, no, I don't need more. I'm fine. And again, I don't, as long as I'm playing these older games that I want to play, I do want to play them. But as long as I'm playing them, and especially if I'm not playing in handheld mode, I don't think the Lenovo Legion Go is a very good handheld. It's a very, very good tabletop. It's not that great of a handheld. That's my personal opinion. It's how I use it. If I have to use it as a handheld, it's fine. I can do it, but it's very short-lived, right? Battery goes away very fast, and it's very heavy. You have to see how you use it, right? If you have somewhere to lay it on or to support your arms as you're playing, then it becomes a lot better. If you're having to hold it up, it's very heavy. But either way, like holding up a handheld is so uncomfortable. Generally speaking, I don't like doing it. But for smaller ones, especially very comfortable ones that have simple controls, if you're holding up a Game Boy or a, Game Boy Advance, something like that, that works. That's fine actually. But if you're playing with triggers and analog sticks and precision third person shooting or first person shooting things, like handhelds, they're not good for that, generally speaking. It's my personal opinion. If maybe you're fine with it. Your arms are stronger than mine, whatever. I don't know. Um, but yeah, to me, like it really does what I've been doing with it very well. I've been playing a lot of indie games and testing out some stuff. And so I'm very satisfied. I question whether I'm gonna buy a Lenovo Legion Go 2. I don't need one, but maybe if the experience is a lot better in a lot of different ways and I think it's worth it, I might get it. Again, I'm using the same library of games, the same stuff, so it's not too much of an investment. It's not buying everything, right? If you're on PC and you already have the controllers, you have mice, keyboards, monitors, everything, you change the PC and everything stays. It's nice that way. It's different than a console. When you change the console, you have to rebuy a lot of stuff, especially when Nintendo is asking you to pay again for new versions. At least, I mean, $10. I would do it. If I bought the new Nintendo Switch and I already had Tears of the Kingdom or whatever, I would pay $10. Is it 10? Is it 15? Either way, again, screw the politics of it. I would pay that money to play the game better because it's so much worth, right? It is worth if you're playing games a long time. So, yeah, that's it. That's my thoughts on the Nintendo Switch 2. Uh, I admit it is a pity, that thing with the screen. I think the entire discussion is warranted. I don't think it means the console is terrible, but it's a misstep, it's a slip, it's a problem. like the Lenovo Legion Go. Like I say so many great things. Yeah, but the sound is just garbage. It's fucking awful. I mean it. I mean, I use it with headphones because I kind of have to. It's almost like it doesn't have speakers. They're so bad. Like you just don't want to use it without external speakers or headphones or something. It's just bad, right? But I often use headphones, so it's fine for me, right? The screen is a portrait mode screen that fucks some games up and requires custom firmware and the drivers. So there are issues with the drivers coming late because of the screen, as far as I understand. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just firmware for the screen itself. I don't know. But it's not ideal. It should be a landscape screen. They should have thought about that. Again, missteps these companies make. Oh, the format. Who designed this? Like the person who designed the Lenovo Legion Go didn't hold it in their hands. Like you have to I mean, it's so unnecessary. Like there are sharp edges in places that nobody would put sharp edges when they're making a controller, and it would be very easy to make that much better. It wouldn't cost a cent more, but they screw it up. That's how it is. People screw things up sometimes. It happens, and it's normal. It's fine. Doesn't mean a product is garbage, but it definitely is not perfect because it has flaws. And the battery, oh God, the battery. I wish AMD would take it more seriously that these processors need to be efficient. They released that Z2 Go thing that's less efficient. It's like, no, don't do that. Less performance is fine. Less efficiency is not. Like, use the best process node you can, use the best technology you can as far as making it efficient. These consoles need it, right? And Nintendo, as far as I understand, I mean, did a decent job. I mean, it's not great battery life, but it's not garbage as most of these PC handhelds. So if you actually want to play handheld, it's a very reasonable solution. Oh, yeah, and I forgot to talk about the fucking, you know, code in a box, not code in a box, these fucking card things. They fucking, they copied the Intellivision Amico, so fuck that shit. I mean, it's just garbage, right? Like, I would much prefer games are a maximum of 30 or 40 or 50 gigs. I don't care how much. Can't be more than that. Fit the game inside that, and then they make a real cartridge. And because, like, what? It's a digital only system like all the others. If you have a disk that needs to install it, at least the disk installs. I mean, even PlayStation 4 disks, they don't need patches a lot of the time. Most of the games that I bought for the PlayStation 4, and I went out of my way to search which ones are like that, they don't need patching to play. So I can play them on any PlayStation 4, right? If the servers go down and the CD is still working, the Blu-ray, I can still play those games. I think that because if you can't, if you're hung on the servers, then just buy digital because you're using the hassle of everything. It's just the worst of both worlds. Like having a cartridge that you have to put the cartridge in to play the game, but it has to be downloaded from a server, and that's it's just awful. Oh, but you can sell it. Yeah, okay. But that's just the monetary side of it, right? You can recoup your money. Okay. But everything else is just worse. 100% worse, right? No preservation of the game, no, being able to play it completely offline. You're tied to just at least digital, pure digital. You can't sell it, okay, so it's sunk money, but at least it's convenient, right? You have to have the internet, fine, but at least there is convenience there. If you don't have the convenience of digital and you don't have the physicality of physical, you have nothing. It's trash. Just my opinion. And I hope Nintendo figures this out because that's I had already given up on the Nintendo Switch before I heard this bull crap. But when I heard that, it's like, oh my God. But then there is another thing, right? I wouldn't play anything third party or non-exclusive on a Nintendo Switch because the experience on the PC is just better overall, generally speaking, right? And so the Switch would be exclusive just for the exclusives, exclusively for the exclusives. And just to me personally, there are not enough exclusive games that I want to play from Nintendo. Keep in mind, I have a Wii U. I have Super Mario 3D World. I have a new Super Mario World Wii U, and a lot of these games on the Wii U because the Switch, people forget the original Switch was only good because of all the Nintendo Wii U games that were released on it. And even today, I was looking at it, there are so few. Like it's Mario Wonder and I think Tears of the Kingdom I would like to play. But besides that, there are barely any Nintendo games on the Switch that I want to play that are not on the Wii U. So it's like so hard to justify getting a cheap OLED now, right? Not even that. I was like, no, screw that. I'm just gonna keep my Lenovo Legion Go. It's better. So yeah, that's enough. I think around an hour. This is not the format that I wanted for the channel. This lazy garbage. But oh man, I was looking at my desk here and thinking of setting up the capture card. And I was like, no, man, this is so much work. Because right now, as I said, I showed you before, right now I have the monitor that is a USB hub and it feeds power to the handhelds or the notebook. And so I have the monitor plugged into the power strip, and the monitor plugs straight with USB-C to the Lenovo Legion Go or to the notebook, whichever one I'm using with the mouse and keyboard. The mouse and keyboard plug straight into the monitor, and there are no video cables, right? There are no power supplies for for the computers. It's all the monitor is the hub, and so it's so clean, it's so perfect. And then I would have to bring out my my USB hub to plug it into the Legion Go through a power adapter and then a HDMI cable to plug it into the capture card and plug that into the notebook, and then it would be this entire freaking thing full of cables and everything. And this is so nice. As I have it right now, it's so clean that I said no. I just fuck that. I don't care. I'm not gonna set up the the fucking capture to do decent gaming content. I can't be bothered. It's not worth my time. So I'm sorry about that. But I still wanted to talk about certain things, and so uh, I'm talking about this. If you guys have other topics that can be discussed like this, just in a pure audio format, I, uh, I like discussing these things. I like talking about it. I really like the this format of conversation, making a video, getting the comments, responding to comments, or making a new video discussing topics from the comments. I've really enjoyed this throughout the years, and I still enjoy that. So I really want to keep the channel going with, content. I would even like to, again, do better content, but that is just too time consuming. I can sit here for an hour and, talk about these topics, but going for hours on end editing and setting up and doing this and that, that is not, that is too much time for me right now. Not willing to invest that kind of time and effort into just talking about video games, right? So, yeah. again, the Lenovo Legion Go once more coming to the rescue and making me not buy anything else. And I've been looking at notebooks, but I'm not buying one either, right? Lenovo Legion Go is fine for me right now, and that's all that I need. But I don't really despise the Nintendo Switch 2. Although if those little cards, the stupid download cards get prominent, that to me is death for the platform. I mean, it just becomes a digital only thing. And the way Nintendo manages their digital stuff, I wouldn't be willing to invest in that. Because the games that I have on Steam, I think some of them are like, what, 15 years old, and I can still download and play them better than ever. And I don't trust Nintendo to do that for me at all. Not at all. So that's it. So those are my views. Tell me what you think as always, and I'll see you around. Bye.